Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Jamie here today with Georgia. I'm going to be talking about Dexter New Blood, episode 9, spoiler review. One left after this, and a lot happened inside this episode. It started off, didn't it, with a flashback in Miami with the, what was his name? Mr. Wiggles, the clown.
Yeah.
And we got Dexter. We got soundtrack back as well from the original series. And Dexter's, he's in Miami, so he's got his classic shirt on. And this just felt like old-time Dexter, really, didn't it?
Yeah, but it also felt like the Joker.
Clown definitely represent, like, even inside the mirror scene, wasn't it? But while this is going on, Dexter sat with Harrison and he's telling him about like the dark passenger and the code and stuff like that.
And he's telling him about Mr. Wiggles.
And the way it's like shot and framed and shit, it's like Dexter, like this is a flashback, but obviously, he's talking to Harrison as well, isn't it? So he's like facing the camera and stuff like that. Mentions that he kidnapped the clown, doesn't he? And he didn't mention that he killed him, though, does he? He's just like, I showed him like what he did wrong and stuff like that, and tried scaring him and stuff.
As he confronts him and scares him, threatens him, and hurts him, Deb stops him from telling him that he actually kills.
Dexter cleans up Kurt's guy's body, doesn't he, from the cabin from last episode. Because people were like, I can't believe Dexter just left that body there. But he had to go and save Harrison, so of course he left the body there. Obviously, he was going to go back and clean it up, though. He's not just going to leave evidence out like that, is it?
I completely forgot you were there.
And it's Christmas time now, isn't it? So Dexter buys Harrison a gun because, all the other kids have got guns.
The only thing I wish for this episode that it aired around Christmas time, not after.
Yeah, it's a week behind, really, isn't it? Harrison draws a picture of Deb, doesn't it? And you didn't like it. I thought it was sweet. I thought it looked like her as well.
It was a sweet gesture, but, like, it looked weird.
He's going off memory, isn't he, I guess? Obviously, he had a photo.
Like, because in shows it's either a work of art or it's a piece of shit. But this was kind of in between. He was like going off of memory. He's not the best drawer in the world, but he's not the worst. And like it was a happy in between, but still looked weird to me.
And then you go to Angela's house for Christmas, don't you? He kept saying it is so weird.
It's so weird.
I mean, but like we forget Angela's, like her daughter's not related. I think she's adopted, isn't she?
Yeah, she's adopted, but still, I just. Because...
And even Dexter mentions to her, don't it, like we might have to do something about them getting together.
Yeah, we might have to do something if our kids become an item,
Kurt arrives, doesn't he, at the house, and he doesn't realise. I'm guessing maybe he probably knew Dexter and Harrison were in there, but he pretends that he didn't know. He does the gun point at Harrison,
doesn't he? He does the gun wink thing at Harrison, and I was just like, oh shit.
And that comes back later on as well.
Yeah, Harrison just stands there, and if that were me and something like that had happened to me and he did the finger gun thing at me, I'd start crying my eyes out. I'd be like, that he did. Don't do that.
We've seen this type of thing like quite a lot throughout the series, hasn't it? Where it's like Dexter's face to face with like his rival, and there's someone there who doesn't know about either one of them, and he just both have to like pretend everything's cool and all that.
Yeah,
but really, it's like ketamine things comes back up because Angela's been looking at the victims with the needle marks and shit. So she goes to the vet, doesn't she? And then she finds out that Jim got ketamine from the vet. So there's another possible thing that's going to come back up. Even though we never used ketamine in the original ones, but
I don't think it's so much what drug he used, it's the fact that the way it's been used, the whole hole in the neck.
Yeah, because they never noticed that. Like, Masuka brought it up like once in the first season, and then that was it. Harrison uses the drone that Kurt got him to spy on the location in it, because they're trying to figure out where did Kurt go and where's the bodies at and all that. He admits that he fantasized about killing Trinity, and he admits that he set up the Ethan thing from the previous episode. And Dexter's about to tell him there and then, but obviously Deborah keeps, reminding him not to say. But he does eventually tell him at the end.
Doesn't he say, in his head, doesn't he say, go on, ask me.
Yeah, ask me, yeah. Kurt's got the underground bunker. That's where he disappeared to last episode. And then we get to what you just said, and Kurt's outside, because now Dexter and Harrison, it's nighttime, they're going to Kurt's place, and Kurt's arrived at their cabin. And he's set fire to it, and he's just waiting for him to come out with his fucking rifle. And then they're at his place, and they find out there's a camera there, and Dexter just decides to set it off, and Kurt pulls out his phone, and he sees Harrison coming down.
Yeah, that was sloppy of Dexter, because you can clearly see a wire on the wall that he could have just cut to make sure that they're not found out. But I think
He says it's time for Kurt to find out that his secrets are out, don't he, or something like that. Yeah. So he wants Kurt to know that they're there, but still, it seems like, alerting him that you're there seems kind of... Yeah. So then we get the reveal that Kurt's been preserving the bodies, hasn't he, draining the blood, and he's got them all in, like, coffins in a way, aren't they, downstairs, all just laid out. They're all dressed the same as well, aren't they?
White clothing, white dresses, which is symbolising purity and angelicness and all of that, because his reason for killing these girls who are on the run is that they would have...
Yeah, more trouble and more stuff would have happened.
They would have got into more trouble, they would have been in terrible situations and stuff like that later on down the line.
He thinks that because of his dad, doesn't he, what his dad used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's trying to say that he's stopped them from going down that line by killing them, and then he drains their blood. And
also, it's revealed that Molly, the podcaster's dead as well, and she's down there, isn't she?
Yeah, but because like you've got 2 rows going down the hall, and then there's like a row at the end.
In the mid, yeah, and she's right in the middle, isn't she?
Yeah, she's right in the middle, and it looks like he's ran out of room.
For almost. A second, because I noticed like all the bodies, the hands were just like this, but hers were behind the back like that. And for a second, I thought maybe the twist would be she's not actually dead and she's there like recording or something, Dexter killing.
I was waiting for her to go back or something like that.
Like she records Dexter killing and all that. Because we never saw her die, but I mean, it was sort of implied, I guess.
But then we see her camera and her...
recorder and all that, yeah.
In the safe.
So we skipped ahead a bit, but Kurt obviously comes back home, doesn't he? Harrison does the gun thing to him, and then Dexter comes behind and injects him, and then they take him back down there. And then that's when he admits, like, what we just said, like, his motive for killing him and all that. But then this whole dynamic here, like, I could just tell because if Harrison does end up killing Dexter, it's set up here, innit? Because he's like, oh, enough of that father-son bullshit and all that. And like Harrison's just stood there watching Dexter do all that. Kurt tells Harrison that Dexter killed Matt, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, the way he announces that makes me laugh. He's like, oh shit! Oh shit, you didn't tell him.
And that's the reason why Kurt was going to kill Harrison for revenge. That's what he says anyway. But Dexter says he fit the code, doesn't he? And like the whole time, Harrison's just stood there, and you can tell like he's conflicted, and like it's the one time he wants it to happen.
I love the faces that Harrison's pulling throughout this whole like segment, because for every single moment that the camera is on him, I'm thinking he's gonna go, he's gonna faint, he's gonna faint, he's gonna faint. And I was just waiting for him to just drop to the floor.
He nearly does though, because when eventually Dexter kills Kurt, doesn't he? And then they start chopping up the body and the blood starts dripping. At first, when it first started dripping, I thought it was gonna like go into some, because obviously he drained the blood, didn't he?
I thought it was a bucket it was going into.
Yeah, I thought they wouldn't have noticed the blood and that would have been stayed there, you know what I mean? And then, but no, it drips, done it, and then Harrison notices it. He gets the flashback to Trinity.
Yeah.
And then we thought he was going to faint or something, but he just went upstairs for fresh air.
Thing of Dexter's like, oh, can you pass me them bin bags? And it's just so casual for him.
Oh, yeah. And then they take the body to the same incinerator that he burned Matt at. So Kurt joins his son in the incinerator. Next day, they arrive back at the cabin, don't they? And they find out it's been burnt, and Angela's there. She's got questions for Dexter. And what does it? Audrey says, oh yeah, Mum, let him come with us. Let him stay with us.
Obviously, it's burnt to the ground, and Audrey just like holding Harrison's hand yet again, like signifying my boyfriend and your boyfriend, Mom. They're related. We're all going to be related and all of that. At the end of this episode, it just made me think again. I do not care, and I do not know why Audrey is in this whole thing in the first place.
Yeah, I thought she was going to die and that'll set off Harrison, but no, I mean, he would kill her now.
I thought she was going to die. I thought she was going to pose as a threat, maybe. I thought she was going to become a victim of Kurt's or something. But no, fuck all happens to her. Nothing happens. She's in the complete darkness about everything going on. She doesn't have a purpose. In my head, she doesn't have a purpose other than to make things awkward.
When the episode ends, then it to go back to Angela's, and she's got a letter. And the letter says Jim Lindsay killed Matt, and it's got the titanium screw from Matt's leg as well.
Yeah, I think
so clearly that was Kurt. Yeah, that was definitely Kurt.
I think Kurt was tying up loose ends.
But yeah, we've got one episode left. Like I said before, I don't think they're going to be able to wrap all this up like in a good way within an hour. Well, especially if Dexter's dying.
In the sneak peek, it doesn't show that Dexter's really dying, it shows him on the run and it shows him having his mugshot taken.
Yeah. But I think that could just be like, you know, that could be the beginning of the episode. Like, they take him to the jail or whatever, but then they, you know, they don't end up having enough evidence or whatever.
They don't.
I doubt that's the end. You know what I mean? The end.
No,
end.
I don't think that that's the end. I just wonder if maybe he doesn't die, maybe he gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, it's either die or caught or runs away, I guess, isn't it? But
there was a scene of him running, but I think he's running away from police.
See that what inside the woods or whatever when he's running.
Yeah.
I think it is first. I think that's Harrison with his rifle. What he gave him.
Nah, could be.
I don't know, man. I'm enjoying it a lot, but I don't want him to die or get caught. I really don't, and I don't want to spin off with Harrison.
I don't want to. I don't think I even want another. If it was another season, it'd have to pick up right off where it leaves in this season.
Yeah.
I don't want another jump in time. I don't want to fuck around with all of that. I want it either to end. No spin-off, end, new season, but that's it.
I mean, this is really successful this season, though, but obviously they already filmed it, didn't they? So, if, you know, you can't really change the ending if it's one thing.
But I do think that this is a season where you can rewatch over and over and find something new in every time you watch it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I feel like we're going to have to rewatch it at some point.
Yeah. True.
I actually want to watch the Trinity season and then watch this season.
Yeah, because it mirrors each other, doesn't it? Especially with how it's going to end. I'm sure it was probably going to mirror the end of season 4 in a way. Because Dexter mentioned, didn't he, like, he kills the way he does and gets rid of bodies because of what happened to him. And Harrison's using the razor blade like Trinity. We've never actually seen Harrison kill anyone yet, so what if his motive's sort of like Trinity with a bathroom or something, maybe? But yeah, next week, final episode. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Check out George's social links down below. Until next week, in a bit.